Hello Army, welcome back to my channel. And if you're watching this video, chances are you also haven't been able to sleep since last night because your timeline is full of one name, ParkJimin. Because today, April 17th, 2026, something we've been waiting for years has finally truly happened. Jimin stepped onto the Tokyo Dome stage again. And not for his old concert, but for Soundcheck. And even before the concert officially began, the world was already in an uproar. So in this video, I want to tell you everything that happened, from beginning to end. All the Soundcheck details, the full context, why this moment is far bigger than it appears, and why ARMY around the world today can't stop crying, can't stop posting, and can't stop talking about this one person. So make sure you're ready, because this is long, this is complete, and this is emotional. But before we start, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, because this channel is always here whenever there's BTS and Jimin news you need to know. Okay, let's begin. First of all, we need to talk about the context. Because for those who don't know, or may have forgotten, the BTS concert at Tokyo Dome today is no ordinary concert. This is the first time BTS has performed in Japan in roughly 7 years. 7 years, ARMY. The last time BTS stepped on a stage in Japan was around 2019, before the pandemic shut everything down, before military service took them from us one by one, before everything we went through together during that hiatus. And now, in 2026, they're back. In Tokyo, in the same dome that once witnessed BTS history. And Jimin is there. We also need to remember that the Arirang World Tour is no ordinary tour. This is BTS's first world tour since all of them completed their military service. The tour already started at Goyang Stadium in South Korea on April 9th, and after 3 extraordinary nights there, the first international leg opened in Tokyo. 2 nights at Tokyo Dome, April 17th and 18th. And today is the first night. The concert is officially scheduled to start at 6:30 p.m. Japan time, but long before that, Soundcheck had already taken place. And that's what made all of Twitter explode since this afternoon. So what happened at the Tokyo Dome Soundcheck today? For those unfamiliar, Soundcheck is a session held before a concert officially begins, where the artists take the stage to check the sound system, lighting, monitor positions, and everything related to the technical aspects of the show. But for BTS, and specifically for Jimin, Soundcheck is never just a technical matter. Jimin's soundchecks have always been their own special moment, eagerly awaited by ARMY, lucky enough to get in early. And today, that soundcheck happened at Tokyo Dome. Videos circulating on Twitter today show Jimin walking on the Tokyo Dome stage dressed in an outfit that is very distinctly him, a black Coach jacket with snap buttons, a plain white inner t-shirt underneath, gray sweatpants with a drawstring waist, and on his head a black newsboy cap. His long blonde hair was clearly visible beneath the cap, falling casually around his face. In his hand, he held a mic. On his wrist, layered gold bracelets. Around his neck, the gold necklace that has always been his signature. And rings on his fingers that have become an inseparable part of Jimin's visual identity. But it wasn't his outfit that made everyone hysterical. It wasn't his appearance that made the timeline explode. What made everyone unable to breathe was the way he walked on that stage. There was something different about Jimin today. The way he stepped across the Tokyo Dome stage, slow, but full of conviction. Relaxed, but commanding. Like someone who already knows exactly what ground he's walking on, how significant it is, and how far the journey he traveled to be here again. And the ARMY witnessing it live inside the dome, they could feel it. Fancam videos that spread showed the reactions of people in the stands who immediately screamed the moment Jimin appeared. Some could even be seen crying. And that was just the soundcheck. Just him walking on stage. No singing, no dancing, just walking. But the effect was already like that. That is ParkJimin. One moment that was also widely discussed was when Jimin briefly covered his mouth with his hand. An expression that immediately went viral and was turned into thousands of memes and edits within minutes. But for those who can read Jimin's body language, that expression was more than just cuteness or playfulness. There was a sense of surprise, a sense of wonder, something that felt like even he couldn't believe this was real. That he was truly here, at Tokyo Dome, again. And if you want to understand why a moment that small could make everyone emotional, we need to step back briefly and talk about Jimin's journey to this moment. Jimin, is one of 7 BTS members who served in the military for nearly 2 years. He truly left, truly was absent, truly far from the stage that had been his home since his debut in 2013. And during that time, the world kept turning, but for Jimin and his army, there was an empty space that nothing could fill. After all BTS members finally completed their military service and returned as a complete group, the album Arirang was released in March 2026 and immediately exploded. The single Swim immediately broke into #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. The Arirang album topped the Billboard 200 for 2 consecutive weeks. And then the world tour began. In Goyang, the first concert of this tour, Jimin had already shown something that made everyone realize he had returned not just as one of the BTS members, but as a performer who had grown to a different level. Korean media wrote that Jimin dominated the Goyang stage with a performance that felt like a film at every moment, and the praise that circulated most was a simple but deeply meaningful phrase. Jimin was Jimin, meaning he performed as the most complete version of himself. Not more, not less. Pure Jimin, real Jimin, Jimin who had been through everything and returned stronger than before. And there was one moment at the Goyang Soundcheck that went viral and is important to also discuss in the context of today. During the Soundcheck in Goyang, Jimin spotted his fan site, the one he hadn't encountered in a very long time, his very first fan site, one that had even become the first fan-sitter in K-pop history to hold a dedicated photo exhibition for an idol. When Jimin saw that fan site's camera from the stage, he stopped briefly, looked, and then gave a salute. One small gesture carrying years of a relationship between an artist and his loyal, waiting fans. Twitter immediately exploded. Korean netizens immediately commented. And many said that one gesture was more emotional than an hour of any other artist's concert. That is Jimin. He always knows how to make people feel something, even in unplanned moments. Now let's go back to Tokyo Dome today. This soundcheck took place before the doors opened to the general audience. But for those inside, whether VIP soundcheck ticket holders or crew, this moment was a gift in itself. Watching Jimin on the Tokyo Dome stage for the first time in 7 years, in his casual outfit, with his blonde hair, with that way of walking, that walk that since 2013 has been something instantly recognizable to anyone who has ever watched BTS perform. And while all of that was happening inside the dome, outside Tokyo was also filled with army energy. Japanese Jimin fans had been preparing massive support campaigns for several days beforehand. At Cross Shinjuku Vision, right in front of Shinjuku Station, one of the busiest stations in the world, Jimin support ads had been running from April 15th to 21st, a full week. In Shibuya, Jimin ads also ran from April 16th to 18th. In the Korea town of Shinokubo, K-Vision also featured Jimin. At Roppongi Vision, today and tomorrow, Jimin's face illuminates a large screen in the middle of Tokyo. And the most unique, there was a Jimin ad scooter circling the city, passing through the Tokyo Dome area, Shibuya, and Hibiya for 3 consecutive days. Imagine you're walking down the streets of Tokyo, and suddenly a scooter passes with Jimin's face on the body of the vehicle. That's not a dream. That's what happened in Tokyo today. All of that is proof of how great Japanese Army's love for Jimin is. And that context is important, because when Jimin appeared on the Tokyo Dome stage for Soundcheck today, he was not walking on an ordinary stage. He was walking across a moment that had been prepared with so much love from so many people, from so many corners of the city of Tokyo. Now, we also need to talk about the tour as a whole, because today's Soundcheck is part of something much bigger. The Arirang World Tour is the biggest tour in BTS history. More than 85 shows in 34 cities, crossing 23 countries, running through 2027. The tour started in Korea, now continues to Japan, and will then welcome North America starting late April. Tampa, El Paso, Mexico City, Stanford, Las Vegas, East Rutherford, Boston, Baltimore, Dallas, Toronto, Chicago, Los Angeles, then Europe, then back to Asia, including Jakarta in December. Yes, Jakarta. Indonesia is on this tour's list. So if you're watching this video impatiently waiting for our turn, you're not alone. We're all waiting together. And honestly, thinking about Jakarta makes this whole moment even more meaningful for us as Indonesian Army. Because we know what it's like to watch from a distance, to follow every update, every fan cam, every Twitter thread, knowing that the city on the screen is not ours yet. But December is coming. And when that day arrives, when BTS finally steps onto Indonesian soil, every single one of us who waited, who stayed up late refreshing timelines, who cried watching live streams from the other side of the world, we will understand exactly what Japanese army felt today. That feeling of waiting finally collapsing into reality. That feeling of a name you've said 1,000 times suddenly standing right in front of you, real and breathing and present. So for every Indonesian army watching this right now, hold on. Our moment is coming. But for now, Tokyo has the honor of being the first city outside Korea to be visited by BTS on this historic tour. And that first day opened with Jimin's Soundcheck that left everyone unable to breathe. One more thing important to discuss, because if you've been following news about Jimin these past few days, you may have also seen there was a small controversy circulating before this Japan leg of the tour began. There were some parties who had voiced criticism about Jimin's performance at a previous Soundcheck. But the army who were there in person and witnessed it themselves gave a different testimony. And the moments captured on camera today at Tokyo Dome, Jimin walking on stage with full conviction, Jimin holding the mic, Jimin being there, that is the most real answer to all of that debate. Not with words, but with his presence, with the way he stands on that stage, with the way he carries himself. Because that's what Jimin always does. He never answers with arguments. He always answers with performance. With the stage, with his totality, and now he is at Tokyo Dome. Today is a day that Japanese army will remember for the rest of their lives. For many of them, this is the first time they've been able to watch Jimin in their own country after 7 years. Some said they started lining up since dawn. Some said they cried even before going in. Some said just seeing Jimin's name on the large screen attached outside Tokyo Dome was enough to make tears fall. And when Jimin appeared at Soundcheck, in his black jacket, with his newsboy cap, with his blonde hair falling on his shoulders, with that walk of his, all that waiting was repaid in an instant. This isn't dramatic. This isn't over the top. This is the reality of what it means to be army. What it means to love someone whose job is to give everything on stage. What it means to wait and believe that he would come back. And it turns out he really did come back. Stronger, more mature, more present than before. Tonight's concert, April 17th, 2026, will begin at 6:30 p.m. Japan time. And the setlist most likely to be performed based on the going shows includes songs like Hooligan, Aliens, Run BTS, They Don't Know About Us, like Animals, Fake Love, Swim, Merry-Go-Round, 2.0, Normal, Not Today, Mic Drop, FY, Fire, Body to Body, Idol, and in the encore there's Come Over, Butter, Dynamite, Microcosmos, I Need You Please through Into the Sun. More than 23 songs that will fill Tokyo Dome tonight. And among all those songs, on the 360-degree stage that has become the trademark of the Era-Rang Tour, Jimin will be there. Dancing, singing, giving everything like he always does, because that's the only way he knows how to be on stage. If you can watch the live stream, watch it. If you can follow updates on Twitter, follow them. Because tonight is one of those nights that will become history, not just for BTS, but for K-pop as a whole. What makes tonight even more significant is what it represents beyond just the music. Tokyo Dome holds a very specific weight in BTS history. It is not just a venue, it is a symbol. For decades, performing at Tokyo Dome has been considered one of the highest milestones an artist can achieve in Japan. Only the biggest names in the world have filled those seats. And the fact that BTS is back here, after everything, after the pandemic, after the hiatus, after the military service, after all the years of uncertainty, standing on that stage again is a statement in itself. It says, we are still here. We came back. And we came back bigger than ever. And before we wrap up this video, I want to say something that I may not always say, but today it feels necessary to speak. We're all here. You watching this video, me making this video. We're here because we believe in something. We believe that music can touch people. We believe there are artists who truly care about their work and about the people who love their work. And for years, Jimin, with all his struggles, with all his growth, with all his sincerity on stage, has proven that that belief was not misplaced. Today, he walked to Tokyo Dome. And just by walking, he already made the world stop for a moment. That's not something just anyone can do. Okay, Army, that's all from me for today's video. If you liked this video, please like and share it, because this is a moment that deserves to be known by as many Indonesian ARMY as possible. Comment below what moved you the most about today's Jimin Soundcheck news. I read all your comments. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet, so you don't miss the next BTS and Jimin updates on this channel. Purple you ARMY. Always.